In this video, I'm going to show you a real and way more accurate Terra Luna Classic burn calculator than what you see from these other influencers. These other influencers do really simple math. They say day one, here's how much Terra Luna Classic would be burned based on current volume. They take that number and they extrapolate that over 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. And they say, hey, guess what? In 65 days, we're going to burn the entire circulating supply. However, they fail to factor for diminishing returns, where as token price increases, the number of tokens burned is actually going to decrease. So I actually built 2 different sheets, one that's a simpler version and one that's more advanced version, where you can enter in these different volume numbers and all kinds of different things to determine what you think that the price is going to look like in the future. Now with this simpler sheet, you're going to enter in what you think the average daily volume is going to look like over time. Now this is not tomorrow, that's not a week from today, that's over a year or 2 in the future. How do you think this is going to average out over time? You can enter in the burn percentage. As they've said, they could change the burn percentage to 1.5, 2%, a bunch of different numbers. You could actually enter those in here and see what would that do to token price and how would that affect the future price potential. Then you need to enter in the current total supply, the current price, and the current market cap for this formula to work. It then does a bunch of math on this sheet, which I'm not going to explain for you. It's a little bit complicated, but essentially it spits out numbers for us then and says at 3 months, what would the price look like based on what you entered. The same is true as we go forward from 3 months to 6 months to 9 months to a year, year and a half, 2 years. And it also shows you the potential price changes as well as the increased potential from the initial price. This of course is not super accurate as it only gives you a couple things to enter in. However, that's where I made a more advanced sheet with a lot more options. So if we start over here on the left-hand side, this advanced sheet looks just like what you guys saw before. This top section is identical, and also these different price tiers are identical how it outputs the values for you. The changes, however, are on the other side. So first, if we look at this top section, I have a section for average volume at these different thresholds. What do you think that the average volume would look like over the first 3 months? Then from month 3 to 6, what does average volume look like? From month 6 to 9, and all the way out to 2 years. What do you think these average volumes look like? Now, this allows you to go ahead and say, hey, right now we have super high volume, but I think it's actually going to taper off over time and the volume is going to decrease as time goes on. You can enter those in and actually do some factoring for that. Now the same applies down here for the market cap. You can enter in what do you think the market cap is going to look like in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, a year, so on and so on. And that's really important because a lot of the other influencers, they just give you this current market cap number and then they go, what does that change the token price for? This actually allows you to adjust and say in the future, let's say the market cap is going to increase over time. What does that do to the change in price over time? And how does that affect the token burn? This is all calculated on the back end, so you guys don't have to worry about it. You just enter in the numbers of where you think market cap is going to be at these different time points. This potential is highlighted behind me by these different price points. You can see the different percentage increase and price points at these different time periods. Again, 3, 6, 9 months, a year, year and a half, and 2 years out. Now, there of course could be some errors with this spreadsheet as this is fairly complex. So I'd recommend you take this with a grain of salt. However, this does help you get a little bit more accurate of a prediction based on what you think these numbers are going to look like. Both these spreadsheets are going to be made available in the link in the description down below. I just ask that you give me your email information. So if there is an issue that I have to correct, I can send you an email and let you know about that. I know there are a lot of variables at play here and it's really hard to get an accurate calculation as to what the price could be, but hopefully this guides you a little bit more. If you guys got value out of this, be sure to subscribe.